Vince doesn't like that. Vince goes down and takes a look. I'm sure he saw Johnny Gargano and said, "What the fuck are all of you doing?" And then he saw...
Do you think that's what he said when he saw Adam Page, and that's why people like trying to get Vince over to the phone as a manager?
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, excuse me.
Probably. There are some of the indie darlings that also have a look and personality, and MJF became an indie darling before he joined AEW. And everybody was talking about him. There was something there in that case. But unfortunately, a lot of the indie darlings are the small guys that do non-stop moves with no facials, which is a Vince McMahon picadillo. If you got a blank face, you're going to get a blank fucking check, as in not signed with no money on it, from Vince McMahon. If you've got an expressive face, personality, then that's what he's looking for, and he wants to see the look. You don't have to be 7 feet tall, but you got to be bigger than some of those guys were. So instead, and with the way Vince is, instead of going in there and reasonably saying, "Okay, you've gone a little too far. I like that guy, and that guy. Some of these guys are too small, and do you see any money in this fucking little Vince over here? He's bland." Instead of doing that, he just said, "Fuck it. Redo all this shit. We're gonna make some gimmicks, character." And then you get the fucking 90s, you know, the sanitized Tony Soprano without the violence and murder, and all of the ridiculous gimmicks that Vince comes up with relating to the guy's personal interests or out-of-the-ring occupation, or "We've never had a garbage man."
You know, part of the problem, too, is you're saying gimmicks. That's one thing. I mean, Tony D'Angelo thing, to use him as an example, just seems like it's really outdated. It seems ridiculous. It doesn't fit in with modern wrestling. Yeah. But on the other hand, the people that use names that are somewhat real, you know, there's an edict right now. He doesn't want anyone using anything that's remotely close to their real name, so they can't leave WWE one day and use it. Here are some recent names they've trademarked: Roxanne Perez, Alba Fire, Cruz Del Torio.
Wait,
and
what?
These are names they've trademarked for people in NXT.
Cruz Del Torio?
So they can give them new names that they can own. And finally, remember Casey Catanzaro?
Yes.
Small girl, very small, but someone who's actually been on TV. She was a Ninja Warrior champion.
And well, then she's been on their TV for months and months and months.
And her new name? Katana Chance. But that's my point. It's a gimmick. It's a stupid, outdated gimmick like Tony D'Angelo, or it's a ridiculously made-up name they're going to put on you while they take you and make you as generic as possible.
I want to see the tag team of Howie Smelter Snatch and fucking, you know, Bend Over.
I need to take out their leader.
I don't know if you've seen that in NXT, but let's go back to Triple H's quotes here. People like Braun Breaker, he's been training for a year. Half the women, they've been here a year maybe. There's a lot that's so fresh and so new. People used to say the constant churn of NXT was a negative. The churn is what's great about it. The people here now, hopefully a year and a half from now, none of them are even in NXT anymore. And the ones that make it will be on to Raw and SmackDown.
And that's going to be the problem, too. If you put somebody on national TV after they've been in wrestling school for a year and a half, Jesus Christ.
That's the magic. It's true. It truly is the developmental league, the college football. Not ready to be in the major league role yet, but you're discovering them before they become household names. So I'll stop there, and there's one more section.
Well, again, I mean, you know, what's he going to say? My father-in-law got pissed, decided to fucking tear everything up and start from scratch. He's trying to put a positive spin on it, but again, you can't take a guy from scratch, train him for a year and a half, and expect him to be ready to be on national television, maybe to do jobs. They rushed him in OVW. They want to rush him now because Vince has no patience. And, you know, basically he's trying to put a good face on what they're doing that people are complaining about. And I don't blame him, but it ain't going to really particularly work. And that's right. They asked us one time at a WCW booking committee meeting. Jim Herd, Jim Ross, Jim Barnett, Jody Hamilton, myself, Kevin Sullivan, Ric Flair. Who am I leaving out?
Barnett?
Maybe Terry, I said Barnett, maybe Terry Funk was there at that point. And Barnett, on behalf of Jim Herd, because he knows what Herd wants to talk about, so he's going to jump in there and make sure we talk about that. Well, boys, this was February, right? February 1990. And Sting has just got hurt, and we're switching Luger, and I think that's when one of the skyscrapers was about to be hurt, and we were going to bring in Mark Callis, Undertaker, to fill his spot, and somebody else had an issue, and home. Basically, the only program that was running was Midnight Express against Pillman and Singh. Because we didn't need Zink to be there.
I will fight you
anyway.
There is someone!
And Barnett says, well, what are we going to do to draw money next month? And they went around the table and somebody gave one idea, and somebody gave the other, and he went to me and said, what are we going to draw money to do to draw money next month? I said, we're not. What? We're not. It doesn't matter what we do right now. We're not going to draw any money next month. And we're not going to draw any money the next month, and we're not going to draw any money the month after. But if we start right now with a coherent plan, using the guys that we can depend on to show up and not build these guaranteed contracts for fictitious injuries, we can probably draw some money in 4 months.
Fight me!
And well, that's easy. It's not your money. That's what's even easier for me to say, because it's not getting well, exactly.
Who's Johnny?
Where's Lonnie? Guess what happened? We didn't draw any money the fucking month after, or the month after, or the month after that. It's because they didn't start in with a coherent plan.
I should get these back to
They didn't
Duke.
draw any money on the
I thought
board.
Elite and the Rebels should abandon this place.
Well, to finish off this section about
always
Triple
deal
H
with
talking
them
about NXT,
Either way, I'm done
we
here.
were talking about this shit anyway. That's where we were headed. It happened during a time where I had to leave for a bit. Luckily, Sean, all that time, so it was a seamless thing. I stepped out, did what I needed to do. But the team has failed. If you're doing the show, you can really say, that's the Rich Flair songs. I just want to say you're my what? My he said, the team has killed it. Didn't they fire his entire team? Sean's still there.
That's what I was just saying. He said, well, thankfully, Sean was there and ready to step in and take over to help everybody carry their bags out to the fucking cab. And the team killed it all right. Actually, the father-in-law killed it. The team executed his wishes, but they killed it. You know, there's nothing. How are they getting everybody ready for the main roster when they're putting people on TV that are too green to be on television, and they're giving them gimmicks and names that they're obviously going to change as soon as they go to the main roster? Give them practice. You can do that at the and in front of 75. And maybe when people get somewhat good at what they're doing, then they might go on TV and get over because people haven't seen them and they couldn't remember what they're doing.
My chance!
Turn right or turn left. But that's just me.
Maybe you're a wrestler, maybe you're someone who's been wrestling internationally for years, for some acclaim. And all of a sudden you have to change your name to Luther. And then you get to walk that back.
Or a lion tamer.
And then the entire time you're on the main roster, people are still chanting Walter. It must piss you off. You must really hate this booking malpractice. What if there's someone you can talk to about suing?
Intellectual property. That's what you're trying to protect your property, which is intellectual, and intellectuals protect their property by calling on the services of one man that can defend them against the raging forces of the outside world. Call Stephen Yes, folks, call him. 888-692-8084. Call him. He gets phone calls all the time. Early morning, late at night. He's up all the time. If he ain't getting calls, he's making calls about the calls that he's got. And what's more, he's writs. And I'll tell you what, I've read the writs he's written, and they're really well-written writs. But you
Coast is clear. Let's hope it stays that way.
You can save the day. You can save your situation. It doesn't have to be written off. All you got to do is call Stephen P. New at newlawoffice.com, 888-692-8084 for any of your legal needs, or just to call him up early in the morning and jack him out of bed. He'll answer that phone call in a fine humor. Folks, again, we've talked about the opioid-addicted babies, the lawsuits that are continuing to be pressed. It's already in the process on those things that the pharmaceutical company tried to bankrupt themselves to get out of. Well, they're chasing them down on that, whether it's your polluted groundwater, whether it's something in some way that you have been harmed or damaged. Stephen P. New and his team at newlawoffice.com, 888-692-8084, did I say, can take care of you regardless of what the legal onslaught might be. You need your guide, your Sherpa, to navigate you through those terrible, treacherous legal pitfalls and into the summit of getting paid. And as we've mentioned many times before also, if Stephen P. New cannot get your ass paid, your ass does not accept cash. Newlawoffice.com, 888-692-8084. He's standing by now. 24 hours a day.
He's not standing by.
All he does is answer phone calls. Some of them are happy calls, some of them are angry calls, but he's always on a call.
He's a very busy man. Someone will be there to help you out. Stephen P.
He does have...
Going down.
Like any busy man does, yes, of course.